think it's batting time, yeah. Oh, it's too late to think.
Well, let's see if I've broken anything.
That sounded broken.
It did sound broken. Let me try this wire.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, Stan Freeberg and X4000, Billy Mays Orchestra, and a cast of thousands. The Old Tube Radio Network is on the air yet again for another year. I've lost count, and is OBP out there? I see a number 2. I think we're starting. I think we're starting year 37. There aren't really good records for the first year or two, but I'm pretty sure we're at least starting year 37 on the Old Tube Radio Network. So all of us who've been here a long time, not only are our radios old, but we probably are as well, unless we were about 2 when we first checked in. My name is Dennis, net controller of this version of the Old Tube Radio Network. 2022, and I'll have to remember that and say it correctly. I'm sure I will be getting it wrong. So I will say, a reminder, Channel 11 is where you need to be if you are wanting to check in or listen in direct. oldtuberadio.net. Look for the glowing 6L6 vacuum tube. The comments are sort of working on the page, so if you can get in and leave a comment, go ahead and do so, and I believe I am able to check those out. And then there is some YouTube thing, that new and advanced YouTube thing. None of this stuff existed 37 years ago, where we're doing video and live streaming and things of that nature. And come to think of it, that the radios were a lot newer than they are now. So this is the really old Tube Radio Network. So with that said, I will grab the shortwave listener list. We'll go through the roll call, and of course, as always, we will be checking in your Tube radios, trying to answer questions and do all that stuff that the Old Tube Radio does here on a Saturday evening. We are, if you're playing the home game, we are in week 7. Yeah, it says 112022, week 7. So grab your pencils or your secret decoder rings and play along. Hello, Joe, 00.
Hello, Dennis. Happy New Year. 00, checking in.
And Happy New Year. It was kind of a good day. The sun came out. It was cold, but a good time was had by most, I suppose. Thanks for checking in, and we'll get you on the 2-for-1 coupon coming up.
Thank you.
And let's see, we've got SWL number 1, one of the dudes that started this thing, along with SWL number 2, Mr. OBP, who is hanging out with us tonight over on the YouTube video chat. So say hello to Kevin if you can over at on the YouTube side. And I'm scrolling up the page and trying to see what our spot number is. 52. You know, that's actually down. I think there was some time during the week here where we had some triple digits on the sunspots, down from 182. Okay, I guess that was right. Just keep reading. So the bands are still pretty good. The bands are still looking pretty good. I made a 12-meter contact, like one of my 3 in the history of my amateur radio career. And 10-meter AM and FM is still lagging behind, but it will get good. Got you checked in, Kevin. Going to check in Rob, SWL3, SWL4, shortwave listener number 5, SWL6, And SWL7, if his noise is gone, he has reconfigured the Radio Shack to be the THX Big Sound Studio, SWL7.
Yes, SWL7 checking in, and definitely old operator, old radios. Oh, well, just old.
Well, we'll see if we can't find something older. I think there are some radios out there that check in that are definitely older than I am. Maybe not. Actually, probably not, but we will see. Thanks, Ed, for checking in. Over to SWL10. I wonder what is happening up there in Idaho this evening. We will find out when Chrissy and Dwayne make it into the old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL13. And I hope you all had a great week and your 2022 is starting off in fine style. Mine is so far so good. Over to SWL14. SWL16. Charlie out of Anoka, Minnesota. And Charlie was listening in to our Wednesday night net, and had my comments been working or something, I might have been able to answer his questions or relay some stuff to him. But Charlie's in tonight, right here in the front row, making sure he points like this if I'm supposed to straighten my tie and flip the glasses or whatever. So it's trying to make me look good on the video, which is it's an impossible task. Over to SWL17. SWL18. And shortwave listener 19, who is also out and about, checking the lights here for the video side out there in Derby, New York. Thank you, Chet. Let's go to SWL20.
Number 20 here. Please check in myself. 2954, and while it's still cold, 135.
Yeah, I've got a couple of early check-ins because it's a little cold. We had a wind chill thing. I noticed the barometer was way up, so I think that's the wind. The wind blew in something in some cold and clear weather, so that was good. And LBP, he says, getting old still beats the alternative. And I heartily agree, number 2. Let's head over to SWL21. Mr. JT, I was running around. I think, I'm not sure if Old Radio Night was on tonight, but DD21 wishing everyone a happy new year. And he's going to sit back, rest, and listen to SWL21. So he's starting off the new year sort of going uphill. You just start it slow and just drive right into it, rather than starting it at full speed and then crashing somewhere in the middle. So I think that's a good way to go, JT. Just kind of sneak into it. Sneak into it so that all the bad stuff will not catch you. Let's go over to SWL22. And I have the Echo link is up under my call. It's not under the Echo link yet tonight. We may switch that over, but at the moment. Oh, wait a minute. I take that back. Maybe it is because there's 2 people connected. So forget what I just said. I don't think that would work had there not been an Echo link. So I will double check that and make sure that it is around. SWL23. Speaking of Echo links. SWL 23 Skidoo may or may not be around. He has sneaky ways of getting into the net, whether it's by air, land, sea, or Pony Express. So, Mitch, I'm getting you checked in, and we'll get to you in a bit. Over to SWL 24, Joseph, who checked in because, as usual, he has that early call coming up. Over to SWL 25.
25 checking in, and Happy New Year, and 35 years, add one more year, that's 36 years, I believe, that the O2 radio has been on the air, so thank you for what you do, Dennis, and back to you.
Indeed, I will get you and 74 checked in, no problems, and yeah, it's amazing. We have the best SWLs and tube radio operators that want to hang out on Saturday evenings instead of doing what they are probably supposed to do, getting in trouble. But it's good trouble. It's trouble that's worth it. Let's see. Chet, I didn't see your item of interest. Hello from the eastern shores of Lake Erie. 34 degrees and snowing outside. 3 to 4 inches of snow is expected by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Love OTR. I do too. So, okay. Well, is that manageable? I've been chatting with some guys on 40 meters up there near Lake, where is it? Lake Almanor, not Elsinore. And 3 to 4 inches of snow, I think, would be a good thing out there. It's more like 3 to 4 feet. But it is what it is, and here in California, we might do that. In fact, hello, Mark, 47.99 from the frozen north of Lake Almanor. Hopefully, it is not snowing at the moment. And you and the Ultimate Queen and Mr. Cat, Mr. Who is it? Mr. Clyde, Mr. Chuckles, Mr. Mike, something. The big ginormous cat are doing well tonight. I want to go over to page 2 for SWL 27.
Well, Happy New Year from number 27, checking in live from Studio G.
Studio G, I hope it is warm in there, or you have the FT8, beaconing to put some heat out. You're sounding good.
Roger. Happy New Year. No, I got the Mr. Heater on. One burner.
One burner, no waiting. Sounding good. All right, well, go back to the burner, and thanks for checking. Mr. Mac, thank you. That's the Charlie Alpha Tango I was trying to think of. Yes, they were holding up signs in the back there saying, Mr. Max, I can't, the lights are in my eyes. I can't see this stuff. They try to help me out. But I ignore them. That's not a good thing. Thank you for checking in, Dwayne. Over to SWL 28, Gary in Sacramento. I think Gary might be out there. I will keep an eye out to see what's going on. Yet again, I reconfigured the audio section just today and had to plug things in differently. I no longer have the microphone jack going into the radio, and I did some different things. And then when I sat down here to do OTR, I realized because I had changed things, my audio was totally different for doing this. So I had to run around and try and figure out how to get the stream to work and all that. So hopefully the sound is semi-acceptable in the streaming audio and everywhere else. But I am working on it. Let's go over to a check-in for Mr. Loner and SWL 30. Looking for Dwayne and Chrissy. Hey, there they are, checking in. I see you guys. I will get 29 checked in. I will get 30 checked in. I will get 10 checked in. If I do this right, I think if all goes well, you can see the check-ins that you're checked in by looking at the check-in box up there somewhere. Over to SWL 31. And I didn't say. Let's see who's on the list tonight. Up in the balcony, Lynchburg, Ohio. Hello there. We will be joining Bob and Steve later in the net here and see what's happening for the new year. Up in the balcony, as always, with the popcorn machine and just about anything else that you might need. If you can't make it down to the green room, join Albert and the boys from Squamish, BC, saying hello to all and happy New Year, thank you. Fresno is in Inez, Kentucky. The unknown SWL. You see someone with a bag and a rubber ducky. That is the unknown SWL. Dallas, Georgia, coming up to you. Woodland Park, Colorado, as always, with the beams beaconing towards Central California, waiting for that big E-skip cloud. From Shinston, West Virginia, hello to you. Louisville, Kentucky. Canby, Oregon, of course, coming up to you. And right in the front row, Anoka and Derby and Hermosa Beach. And what happened to Fish Camp? They're not there. I know who that is. That means something's broken if they're not on. Over to SWL 32. SWL 33. Myself and Bozo Control and all the gang here. The honking proboscis means all is well.
I like that honking horn there. Good evening, Dennis. The one element. Checking out.
Yeah, that is the honking proboscis of Bozo Control, an icon of the old Tube Radio Network since day one, and it's still honking good. And by the way, one element, you are sounding as good as ever. I don't know if you've changed something or moved things around, but the signal is doing quite well.
Good to know. Thanks, Dennis. Grand evening. Happy New Year to everybody on the band and the San Joaquin Sandbaggers Association.
And let's see, let me say hello to Gary, just checking in. Hey, let's have an amazing show to start off the new year with the best MC in the business. All right, when we find whoever that is, we'll bring him in here and put him in the air chair. Anyway, thanks for the kind words, and yeah, we'll just keep doing this as long as there's just one radio to check in, right? And one SWL. We'll be out here. SWL 34, Jimmy Little Toot, from probably where it's really cold, out near Chicago. Wonder what they are doing. We'll get them proxied in, and no doubt we'll be by a little bit later. SWL 35, I did see Mr. Bill, Red Monkey Communications, jumping in on the big page saying hello from Snowy. And you know it, Snowy Cheyenne. Hello, Bill. Thanks for checking in. Maybe we'll catch you on this skip like we did a while back. Over to SWL 36, and that is Jerry. Is Jerry on? You know, let's try. I think I've got it keyed up here. I think I've got it tuned up. Let me see if we can't make an Echo Link contact with Jerry. Stand by. WR5G from KB6GFD. Is the Echo Link working? Over.
Yeah, KB6 GFD in the group, WR5G. It is working tonight, Dennis, so you're definitely sounding good. I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year and look forward to hearing some of the Top radios a little bit later on tonight. So, haven't had a chance to really work on anything this past week, but next week I should have a little bit more time to be able to get some other rigs out and take a look and see what needs to be done to them. So, anyway, I'll turn it back over to you, Dennis. Thanks for having the Echo Link up tonight. I really appreciate it. And like I say, I'll be listening for the other radios later tonight. WR5G.
All right, very good. Thanks, Jerry. I haven't been on Facebook much this week, so I haven't seen if you've posted any of the cool refurb pictures, although they always look like they just came out of the box, like you just walked into the local electronics store and picked them up. So, like you said, it's been busy. Not a lot of time to work on things. So we will see if we grab a few radios tonight that have been worked on or maybe worked over and get them all checked in. Thanks for joining us on Echo Link tonight from out there in Arizona, I believe, 73, KB6GFD. Let's try SWL 37. Hello, Chris.
And hello, Dennis. SWL 37 checking in, and Happy New Year to you, guy. Good to see you, and we made it.
We made it for another one. I guess we can officially say, as long as we get our one toe into 2022, we've officially made it in, regardless of how we might wind up. So got you checked in, and you're sounding good. Over.
Well, yeah, I made it with one toe in. I made it all the way in. I just missed a piece of skin when I came in for the new year.
All right. Well, you didn't need that anyway. Let's just give it to somebody else. All right. Thanks for checking in.
Okay, yeah. No, they took the stitches out, and it looks good.
All right, good. All right, then, in months from now, you won't even know. You'll have to think about what happened. So that's good. All right, on. And if you're radioactive tonight, I've got a spot for you on the old tube radio list.
Sounds good to me.
Over to SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40, I do believe I saw 785 checking in from down under. That's that other down under. Not the one you think, where it's summer. In the down under that Larry is out, it is, I bet it's definitely not summer. It probably feels every bit like winter. Let's see. Let's go over to SWL 41. Road Dog 507 out of New York, checking in right there on my screen. 2 International Sideband 507 from the Hudson Valley of New York. Wishing everyone a happy new year, an apropos thing to do on the first day of January of any year. Got you checked in. Thank you, 41. Over we go to SWL 42. SWL 43, the proxy in for Eddie. SWL 44, and up to North Fork, SWL 45.
45, check it in.
Hey, Paul, hopefully you can hear me. Seems like the band is quiet, no skip coming in, and you're sounding good here in Midtown. Over.
Great, I need a good band for this radio. Talk to you later. Thanks, Chad.
All right, you are sounding good, and no problem on that radio. We'll be talking to you in a little bit. Over to SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47. SWL 48. SWL 49. I was dragging my feet just in case Brian is listening on the stream, but going to be transmitting. He did a test earlier. I don't know what he was on, but it sounded really good. So, Brian, I'm getting you checked in if you're listening. The radio that you tested sounded great through the stream. Let's go over to SWL 50.
49 just checked in.
Okay, I didn't hear him for some reason. I heard him really well when he tested earlier. Hello, Brian, OTR listening.
Yeah, I think you guys were doubling there, Dennis.
Oh, the standard 2 transmissions in one for the same price. Hello, Brian, if you can hear me, I'll get you checked in, and I heard your test earlier on the stream, and it sounded great.
They're helping me out. Wishing everyone a happy new year, and thank you. I guess they switched on the grow lights across the street because I can no longer hear you. And before I had a perfect copy on you, so there you go. Thank you, Dennis. Everyone, have a great one.
All right, you're sounding good. Yeah, refer to the stream. That's what was the little delay there. Sounding great. So I know how that is. I have a strange thing that's happening on 40 meters with the on-again, off-again staticky thing. So thanks for checking in tonight, and you and Sweet Country Mama have a great new year. Over to SWL 50. SWL 51, I did see 305 on the big audio board here earlier, saying he was checking in. So we'll get you checked in. Dave out there near Sangertown. Over to SWL 52. And then SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in, and everybody on the net.
Go ahead and proxy 53.
All right, well, no need. He just checked in.
Good.
Hey, Bob, I've got you live and direct. We've got the X in the square over.
10-4. Okay, have a good one there. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks for stopping by. Before I turn the page, let me head over to the chat window. See who is joining us tonight that I have not yet acknowledged, like John 102 in Scranton, Arkansas, saying Happy New Year. Tony's also hanging out there waiting for check-in time. Also, that's Tony in Coarsegold. Then there's Tony, and I think, is it North Carolina, South Carolina? Anyway, 100 will be coming to you. I see you up on the Echo Link. Or were you? Yeah, we'll see if we can get you on the Echo Link. DD21 hanging out. Cornbread is a radio check. You have your radio, and I have mine, so radio check good. And a cellular phone check. You have your cellular phone. I don't have mine. It's I don't know where it is. I don't even know if I have one. I've got a landline. In fact, I'm going to bring that into the studio here. I've got a really good one that'll work good for the old Tube Radio Network. Richard, 78. You know, I listened into 7235 the other day. I guess Brian and everybody else was away. They didn't have a net control, but I thought I would hear you, but I didn't, so I probably wasn't in at the same time. So, let's see, is that, let's see, 0110, no, that's too big. I thought maybe that was 78 in hexadecimal, but that's like 78 million or something. Who else is joining us tonight from Out and Beyond? Cornbread, of course, is not checking in. He'll be not checking in many times tonight, and that's okay. Chrissy and Dwayne N, of course. And who else? Bourbon 497, Gypsum. Send that 10 degrees to South Carolina. Talking about the weather tonight. And anybody else? Okay. We'll see as we go along here. Over to page 3, the old Tube Radio Network. The glow-in-the-dark radios are coming up, so do not turn that page, even though I'm turning mine. 54 is in, over to SWL 55. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
All right, hope you are staying warm out there. And all the little machines and whirring cogs and steam pipes over there are doing well. Thanks for checking in. SWL 57, Brown Dog Audio was in just moments ago. Checking in, we've got you on the zip list tonight from Central Kentucky. I didn't see if sometimes you are in interesting places. He says that 38 lower sideband has been hopping all day. I have not been on to check it, so I don't know. It might be hopping right now. It's very quiet, as you can hear on the band, so I'm not sure if we're going to have any type of E-skip or not. And he's ringing in the new year with a full logbook. I have started mine once again. Where's my logbook? This is one of many. This is my logbook, and I have about 4 or 5 contacts that I need to add to my logbook since I've been more radioactive than usual. So I'll have to remember to do that. Let's go over to SWL 58. Get a proxy for Jeremy working in the cold to get that high gain high tower up and running. Over to SWL 59. And the guy that got us started off as 00, SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis, and Happy New Year to all the fellas out there. SWL 60 checking in.
SWL 61 checked in early. He left to go where it was 61 degrees, probably, to get warm. Dino, if you're listening on the stream, we've got you checked in, of course. SWL 62, SWL 63, shortwave listener 64, SWL 65, shortwave listener 66, and out there in Canby, up there in Canby, Oregon, SWL 67. Thank you, Bill, for checking. I'm checking. I always check to see if I have the keys, because I'm supposed to give them back. Let's see. Uh-oh. I've got the keys. I will not forget. I put them right here. Put them right up there, so I won't forget to give them back to you. Who's next? SWL 68. Michael, New York 157. I think you might be in on the chat window. Let me see. There we go. I know last week he made it in late. Or later. You're not late. If I get you checked in, so we'll put an X in the square. Up to over to Tulsa. I think Tulsa is that away. Off to my left by a whole bunch. Kenny, if you're watching the replay or you're there now, hope you and all the family have a great 2022. I hope it started great. Let's head to SWL 70.
Hello, Dennis. Happy New Year.
Okay. I knew you had a radio that normally checked in here, and I wasn't sure if the new radio was capable or not, but this radio that you're on is certainly capable. I mean, we've got you checked in.
Yeah, this is the old one. Possibly in the future, in reference to your reference. And yeah, I got a wire in the air, and I had it on earlier, and I heard Jerry, and then I heard nobody. I'm like, man, the net's gone. And then I had to put it back on vertical, so now I can hear everybody. There you go.
Yeah, and the old ground wave here, I have not figured out how to do. Although the antenna may be listing at 45 degrees, so perhaps I am doing a little circular polarization. But you sound great, and we've got you checked in. SWL 71, Stan, out there in Dallas, Georgia. What's going on in Foreland tonight? Anything happening? Oh, you know, it was straight. I don't know. Maybe it is tonight too. It was straight key night last night, and I'm sitting here tapping on my J38 key. That's my push to talk. I don't know if you can see it underneath all the. Let me see the screen here. If you're watching the video, that's not what I want. Yeah, this is a J38 key. I'm using it as a push to talk, and then I used to have it, and I probably will wired doubly, so it's a push to talk and the key. So I went down and listened into some CW last night, and sure enough, there was definitely some straight keys because they were going slow, and you could hear them struggling on those straight keys. But it was kind of fun. I did not join in because after trying to copy for about a half an hour, I realized that my CW skills were less than stellar, straight key or not. SWL 72. Shortwave listener 73. That's John. I bet he was out on straight key night. He's probably got a closet full of J38 keys and all sorts of really expensive. He's a CW guy. Probably all sorts of expensive things, but I know he's probably got his favorite straight keys somewhere. We got to check in for SWL 74, Miss Jilly. SWL 75. SWL 77. SWL 78 from Wild Wildemar, the zeros and ones, somewhere near Wild Wildemar. Is that somewhere near Lake Elsinore? Not Almanor. So if you're out there, I will get you checked in, and I'll look for you on the net frequency. Give you a call. I'm working on the station. I'm working on it, and what I need to do is work on the antenna and some other stuff. Then everybody will be able to hear me. Thank you, Richard. Unless you're in, no, you said you're in Wildemore, I think. You're not up in Everett. Otherwise, it would be cold. Let's go to SWL 79. I'm getting Mr. DC checked in. He helped me with the audio as I was pulling out my hair, realizing that I had reconfigured things and nothing was working. So I was having to repatch and send things. And he said, yeah, turn that up. Yeah, turn that down. Yeah, I can hear you. So that always helps. And let's go over to SWL 80. And let's see. Let's use up at oldtuberadio.net. Squamish is in, of course. Albury's still there. Anybody new? Anybody new jumping in? Not quite. But what I would like to do, if it's possible, and they're around. I think they're around. Let's go over to Bob and Steve and the gang. We missed you last week because my comments were not in, but of course it was a Happy New Year. Everybody was, or a Merry Christmas. It is now a Happy New Year, and everyone is having a great time, and we will find out exactly just how crazy.
27.085 OTR channel 11.
Okay, let's see. What can I do? We need something on the screen. How about the meter so everybody can see that I am getting, there it is, somewhere. Okay, that's it right there. The REA meter running the phase rotation that allows me to push my negative peaks a little bit more than they should, but I think we're sounding good. Episode number 96, as we sort of slide into 2022 on January 1st. Bob and Steve out of Ohio saying Happy New Year to everyone. They took the big red limo with the Jingle Singers to the Rose Bowl down Colorado Boulevard and beyond. Remember the little old lady from Pasadena, the terror of Colorado Boulevard up there in Pasadena by the Rose Bowl, 229 miles each way. Well, that's cruising in style in the limousine. He says they should have used the private jet. Yes, indeed, because I think there was some issues getting over the snowy grapevine. So, wait a minute, and I'm going to have to hear more about this private jet. I'll guarantee you that Costco does not sell parts for a private jet, so don't use the card for that. Anyway, they got back a little late, but everything is working. The tickets were only $1,500 each. Well, is that a bargain or what? The Costco card worked. Okay, that's what you're using the Costco card for. Ohio State and Utah. We won. So I'm assuming we is Ohio State on that one. So that's good. I'm glad. The Jingle Singers wanted to get me an Ohio State Champs shirt, but couldn't find any. Really? Were they sold out, or they just a big oversight? So they had to inflate the tires in the Buick. They looked a little soft. They are. I occasionally have to walk around there with the air compressor and add a little bit of air to the Michelins. That I think those Michelins are so old they have a letter code. You know how most tires are, what is it, like 225 R15? Those are J's, I think. They're before they went over to the metric system, so they are always needing air. While at Costco, they picked up a 6-month supply of fish food, which is basically all you can do. If you're buying fish food at Costco, probably that's the smallest thing you can get, is that 6-month supply at 50% off. So we will be saying for the next 6 months, without hesitation, don't forget to feed the fish. Thank you, Bob and Steve.
27.085 OTR channel 11.
Well, now. That is something else. Fish food.
Okay, I've managed to wind back up on page 4 where I should be and say hello to Mr. Unicorn, SWL 81, Steve Arena. And Richard's saying it must have been the Jingle Singers who came into the LAX on Air Force 3. I didn't know there was an Air Force 3. I've seen 1 and 2. 2 has actually come into Fresno, which is a very difficult thing to do because the runway just barely fits. They just barely take off there. So I will have to talk to Bob and Steve about that. If they're renting out Air Force 3, there may be some issues with paying for that no matter what card we have. Let's go over to Steve Areno. If you're in there, you are checked in. SWL 82.
82, checking in from the Ditch Banks of Iowa, and sorry, folks, for not running the Ditch Bank SSB night last night on lower 36.
All right, places to be, people to see, and I was not able to. Sometimes I can jump in the last moment. I wasn't able to do that, but there was the usual gang of SSB crazies out there to say hello and spend a New Year's Eve. So it was always good, and we will look for you on the Ditch Banks sideband net next Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 36 lower. Over.
That is correct. All right, Dennis, and thanks for running your net. I'm glad you made it. And hopefully talk to you all next Friday. All right, take care.
All right, very good. And Richard, I see that you are in Everett instead of balmy south. I talked to your stations in Southern Cal, Central Cal today. Said it was 60, 65 degrees, heading to the beach, which it always is. It's always nice around Christmas down there. You can't beat that late December, early January surfing if you are doing that kind of thing. Let's go. Thank you, Ron. SWL 83. SWL 84. Jerry and the Swan Radios. Catch him on the noontime net. Checking in. And I am going to illuminate. I'm going to try to illuminate without injury to myself or the radio. It never fails. The Johnson Messenger 223.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis, over.
I know you're getting close to me, but I got to go, so if you could possibly check 131 for me there when you get to him, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, have a great New Year. Stay warm. You'll be checked in.
Thanks, sir.
My goodness, Dr. Ruth.
Who's next? 84. Oh, we've got the triple play, 86, 87, and 88. The Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl all checked in here on the old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 89, SWL 90. And Felix is jumping in and checking out the video tonight in probably the cold but capable Bronx tonight. Thank you, Felix, for being there. Always enjoy the pictures. The green check, which I don't know how to do. And as Felix says, Happy New Year to SWLs, the old Tube Radio operators, and anybody else that may shuffle by the net tonight. And as you know, you don't have to have an old Tube Radio to join in. You don't need an SWL number. You don't even have to have been on or done anything before. First-time callers are also welcome. This is not a club, but just a voluntary association of people, so you will never get a check in the mail for the annual dues for the old Tube Radio Network. It just happens.
Over here, give hairdos for real.
Over to SWL 92. SWL 93. Over to SWL 95, Warthog 95. Over to Kerman, SWL 96. Jim out there in Boston, SWL 97. SWL 98, Tracy, I think I saw Tracy somewhere checking in or leaving a message. So Tracy, if you're listening, I've got the X in the square. Probably still working on getting the station together. Let's go to SWL 99. And Levon is in. Levon, hello. I got you on the list here as well. Hope all is going well. And, Tony out there in South Carolina looks like he might be linked up on the Echo link. So let me give a shout out and see if we can make a contact here on the Echo link. KD4BAO from KB6GFD, over.
Good evening, Dennis. This is SWL 100. Tony, KD4BAO, back to net control.
All right, Tony, sounding good. Glad to catch you on the Echo link. And as far as South Carolina goes, where are you in the Gulf Stream? Are you in the part that's cold right now, or are you in the part that is, having the 60-degree weather? Over.
We're in the part that's having a 60-degree weather right now, Dennis. It'll be getting cold Monday night for us down in the 30s.
All right, very good. I wasn't sure, and I'm sure the one thing I am sure of is that we will be sending you some cold weather, because we're definitely getting it here. No rain, but it's definitely cold. All right, 73 to you, and have a good evening. Thanks for checking in. KB6GFD. From the Echo link, Tony in McClellanville, South Carolina. Let's go over to shortwave listener 103. SWL 109, shortwave listener 110, SWL 111. I was in and out of the room, so I didn't hear Robert, but I know he was out checking in and over on the other page. So out in Reedleytown, we've got you checked in, Robert. Looks like you're all set up to have a great 2022, so get to it. Next, we've got SWL 113, shortwave listener 114.
114, checking in.
114. Hello, Wayne. We've got you checked in. The rickshaw's got the X in the square.
Thank you for the check-in.
And there is Uncle Hairball saying, sorry he's late, he got a phone call. And it turns out the phone call was like, hey, you're late for OTR. So, sometimes you got to go with the flow. Thanks for stopping by tonight, Uncle Hairball, on the video chat. Let's go over to SWL 128. And I've got to scroll down the page here and see what... see if John is in. I'll refresh the page. He might be out there tonight. See what is going on in Fairfax, Virginia. SWL 131. Mr. Rude checking in to get out of the elements, or no elements, I guess. Let's see. Who else is also checking in? We've got Burnaby. Am I saying that right? Out in British Columbia, up in the balcony, hanging out with the Squamish boys. It's 35 degrees out in Burnaby, British Columbia tonight. Over to SWL 133. Got a check-in for SWL 135. SWL 137. And up to Course Gold for Tony. I think I heard him in earlier, SWL 145.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and Happy New Year, everybody. It's SWL 145, and I want to congratulate you, Dennis, on closing on an episode 100. I believe you mentioned before, a couple weeks ago, it was getting close, so I know it's got to be even closer now. So I just want to say congratulations and thank you for all you do. Back to you.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network on Saturday. We used to say the Saturday place to be if you've got a tube radio, if you don't have a tube radio, if you just want to do something because you can't find Red Skelton, Jack Benny, Jackie Gleason, Carol Burnett, Lucille Ball, or any of those people on TV anymore. So I'll take the place of somebody, I'm sure. Thanks, Tony. Tony is in. Let me mark that in that says he actually checked in. SWL 147. I have been keeping an eye out on my scrolling list, and I don't recall seeing Kakalaki jump in yet. Spank the Monkey is in. Skip rolling in here in South Carolina. Talked to Wisconsin and Texas already. So far this evening, I think. So nothing from Kakalaki yet. I'll keep an eye out to make sure I haven't missed anything. I'll get Neil a proxy check-in. He's been around long enough, right? We should get him checked in because he's out there somewhere. SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. Happy New Year, everybody. 188 Snowbeast checking in.
All right, sounding good as always. I got the message that you were able to reconnect. Is that the proper term? Reconnect or reposition the missing or stranded element so that the Gizmochi is gizmoching again in all its, how many, what is it, 8-element glory?
It is. It's back up and running. I had a broken hub and one element that was a little bit bent. I had an extra kit here, so I got it all put back together and realigned, and it's doing good.
All right, sounding good. The S-meter is happy, and Skipland is happy from the Central Valley of California, putting in a good signal. Thanks for checking in.
10-4, thank you.
And Newton, I just see them walking through the balcony. Sometimes, you know, they'll flash the lights up there, and I can see who's coming in. It is Sunday morning, of course, there, 49 degrees Fahrenheit. Sounds like it's going to be a good day, a good morning to start off OTR. Let's head up to cold Coarse Gold, where Jim is probably actually looking at the stars. Hello, 195.
195 checking in, Dennis. Yes, beautiful up here. Nice and cool. And Happy New Year to everyone.
Indeed. Happy New Year to you as well. We had the morning fog, but it burned off. It was pretty thick, but it burned off pretty quickly here in the city. So I knew it was clear. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
Over to, where are we going? SWL 226. And I'd be surprised to hear Jeff out in this cold weather. I will get Jeff checked in and say, who else? Who else needs to take a transmission and say hello, radio? OTR is listening. All right, good enough. I'm going to take that pause that allows me to plug and unplug and wind and rewind the things I need to get ready and set for the tube radios coming up. OldTubeRadio.net, your place to listen into the audio stream. The comments are up and running for the most case, and I can see them. So if you want to leave a comment there, that is a good thing. The YouTube video, by clicking on various links. There should be a link at oldtuberadio.net, or maybe you have subscribed or done something. And I see Chrissy is got a recipe going. So grab your 3x5, grab your 5x8 cards, and your favorite number 2 pencil, and make sure you copy down the recipe, because her recipes are always tasty. I made a few of them. I made one of them for sure, the tater tots. I'm going to do that again because it is perfect weather. Back in a moment with your Tube Radios on the Old Tube Radio Network. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Guess what time it is, boys and girls?
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
And they always applaud as if something exciting is about to happen. And you know what? They are right, because we are hoping to talk with, check in some of those classic tube radios from 1958 to 1978 when the FCC banged the gavel, or whatever they did, and said there will be a Class D 11-meter citizen band radio service. And so manufacturers from near and far out gathered together to figure out how can we cash in on this soon-to-be radio craze. We will be listening to some of their efforts tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. OTR standing by. And Tony asks, is it heavy metal time? Well, I certainly hope so. Or as they say on 3885, big iron. Or I was listening to some guys on 3885 last night checking in on, he called the radio the Iron Maiden. And it had a big 8KC wide YAM signal. So we'll see if the tubes are glowing. OTR are looking for radio number 1.
45.
Hey, Paul, you're in the fast lane all by yourself here at 9:05 Pacific Standard Time. If you can hear me, grab that microphonium and take a transmission. Tell us what you got. Over.
Okay. Well, I hope I can stay in. I'm having a hard time. My iPad's even messing up tonight. So I'll stay with you as long as I can. It's my Pierce Simpson companion.
All right, good way to start out. I will scroll down the Rolodex for Pierce Simpson. I haven't done any research to see if that's two people, where that name came from. The companion. There is a companion and a companion 2 in my files. I'm going to bring up the companion, and I actually see there's one from your collection. So if I pull up the proper screen and go to that, yes, I recall this. This is one of my favorite radios, just for, again, it's Pierce Simpson. I think they had some of the better designers. Maybe they hired Raymond Loewy. I mean, after he got done with designing tail fins on the Chryslers and Studebakers and whatever else he did, he went to Pierce Simpson and said, okay, I'll design a radio for you. Paul, if you can hear me, take a transmission over.
Yeah, this is my plastic radio. It's all plastic on the outside, of course. And it's a strange colored radio. It's kind of I say purple, Kelly says maroon. So take it from there. That is a real neat radio. It's a front fire speaker on the thing. It has no other things on the front, no meters, nothing, except one modulation light on the right front top. So that's the front of it. It's old style, but it's manufactured in 62 or 63. I'm getting both numbers on the thing, so I'll put it in. Thank you.
Yeah, coolness. Reminds me of a tabletop AM radio that you'd find in your kitchen. And the plastic, I have to go. Hi, Kelly. Long time no see. I have to go with maroon as well. And not the maroon like, what was it? Was it Bugs Bunny used to say, or Daffy Duck would say, "You maroon"? No, it's the other maroon. But purple will work as well. It is a 23 channel. I see a tunable receiver, and then I see the channel selector. It looks like you can add the little clear numbers depending on what channel you have. I see an EXT, meaning those two little fang holes. Those holes in the front of the radio are for looks like a very large size crystal to plug in there to go external. And of course, they didn't have enough room to spell out Pierce Simpson with the letters they had, so they just put PS. And I'm assuming that's the way it came, rather than there were other letters that fell off. Back to you, over.
Yeah, well, pretty good excuse. Yeah, the thing is, it's a purple. No, Kelly says it's a maroon radio. You can see around the corners of the thing, on the top is gray. Inside there's a maroon. Well, plastic. Yeah, I say maroon. She says it's purple. Hey, we'll go from there. Anyway, the thing's got a ceramic, airphonic ceramic marks on the thing. Hardwired in the right front lower. Well, nothing you take out. You'd be hooked right in there. And well, I tell you, but that's about it. It's a really nice looking radio. Back to you.
It is a nice sounding radio as well. I can sneak off to the side of the picture. Let me expand it here. And it looks as though there is the possible microphonium that is attached to that wired-in cord. It looks like it's gray and almost looks like a salt shaker. Are you using the supplied standard microphonium with that, over?
Stop microphone. Airphonics microphone, ceramic.
Yeah, looks good. Also sounds good as well. Nice, clean. That is your standard tube radio audio. The Pierce Simpson Companion. This was Pierce Simpson, like a lot of manufacturers, typically had 2 or 3 radios going at the same time, sort of a low price, a medium priced, and a high priced. And I think the Companion was in their obviously their lower to mid price range. It wasn't quite the Guardian, and it was before the Guardian. This is in Sam's CB4. So like you, I don't have an exact date, but I think this was manufactured before 1984 or 1964 or 65 when they started coming out with the Guardian. It's our first radio. It works well. You might be able to make some waffles out of that speaker grill. Pretty cool. He's got all the matching knobs to go with it as well. The Pierce Simpson Companion from the early 1960s. This is the radio that you would go to the electronics store. It'd be sitting on the shelf. You'd check it out. They'd go in the back room, You'd hand them your probably for this radio $189 or $200, and you'd walk home and hopefully you had your license ready to go. Or you would open the box and there would be a form 605 or 505. You'd fill it out and send away for your license. Over to you, Paul, for transmission. Thanks for getting us started out with the Pierce Simpson Companion. Over.
How did I mention it's got a spare deal for, I believe it's receive or transmit crystal in the front there. You probably mentioned that already. But the radio's pretty good size, actually, for an older type radio. It's 12 inches long and 1.5 inches wide, 5 inches high, so it's a fairly good size. Not a small radio. They could have put another something goodies in the front. I guess they didn't have time for it. There's a good picture of it right there. That's a real good picture of it, Dennis. Thanks.
Indeed, that one shows the top and the case. I don't see that it had a handle. It looked like it might have had some type of a sliding bracket, perhaps. And I see some things around the edge, the side edge. And there's the crystal. All right, this shows the crystal plugged in. You would go to the EXT position for your transmitter. So that was a transmit crystal. Of course, you had to be crystal controlled on the transmit. And then you would tune in whatever it was on whatever channel you might add to it on the variable tuning. I wonder how far below 1 and above 23 you could make that tuner go. Pretty cool radio. You don't see many of these. I don't think I've seen any for sale on the various for sale sites. So hang on to it, and we are, as always, super duper lucky to have your collection within range to check in and beacon across the Universal Media Net Web. I know there's a lot of stations that listen in that have similar radios that I wish we could hear, but I know they get on the air when they can. The old tube, thanks, Paul, the old tube radio network, real radios glowing in the dark, and we are listening for radio number 2.
25.
Hello, 25. All right. Well, I think I know. I used to know where that radio was located, and I think you don't have to traverse out into the wind and snow and rain and cold to take a transmission. Over.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, the Brown and Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. By the way, Paul, if you're still listening, that radio sounds great. Making a great trip down to the valley here. So, but anyway, Dennis, congrats on going on 39 years of OTR, and here is the Brown and Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, two-piece radio with the non-powered banana mic. Anyway, just sliding into the new year, 2022, my goodness. And thanks for checking it in, Dennis. Back to you.
All right. Well, thanks for giving me the opportunity to check it in. I'm looking around behind me here to make sure that everything is working. I'm smelling smoke, but I think one of the neighbors far away has placed, the last portion of the Yule log into the fireplace. Browning Golden Eagle Mark III's SSB. This was 1972 when they figured out how to combine all those pieces of the Mark II. This one has the sideband transmitter, which is the matching size to the receiver. And it always sounds good. Take another transmission.
Yeah, okay, Dennis. I haven't really touched this radio. I could probably, tweak a few things or clean things up, but I figure as long as it's working, don't fix it. So I'll just leave it alone. Anyway, Dennis, thanks for checking it in, and Happy New Year to you. Back to you.
37.
All right. Likewise, hope your 2022 is getting off to a good start. Thank you for radio number 2. A crowd favorite from Browning. Some of you out there listening might have had this radio. Maybe you have one now. Maybe, like me, you wish you had one back in the day when you were on the Realistic Navajo. But they're still up and running. You can still find them. And as you heard, they don't take much effort to keep on the air and keep sounding good. Thanks for radio number 2. And radio number 3, I think, just flew by. Hello, Chris.
And hello, Dennis and Jerry. That Browning does sound good. It's loud over here, of course. I'm in between you and him. So, anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in this radio.
All right, step up into the air chair. I think you're already there. And as we say here on the Old Tube Radio Network, take a transmission. Tell us what you got. Over.
I got a radio. No, Dennis, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A. This is the 24-channel version of all those other radios like this, similar to it anyway. And we are registered here with the original handheld stock microphone, no amplification whatsoever. Just you got a guy on the other side of the mic is doing all the amplifying.
Yeah, the ECL 800, the 12AX7. What does the song go? You've got a brand new general radio. I've got a brand new key. It's right on channel 11 on that green. Is your dial green? Is the light working? Is it a green channel 11 right there?
Well, it's a green background. Channel 11's black.
Okay, details. You are correct. The for those who do not have the video, the channel selector in a nice wide window. I remember Ed's Tram TR2070 with a little dinky window. There's a nice big window. There is a probably an opaque channel selector grid behind it. So I'm thinking that's a green grid with a white light behind it. Right on channel 11 where it needs to be. Take another transmission on what is Radio 3.
Okay. You know, I was just looking at something here. I never really paid that much attention to it. But if you turn this channel over to channel 9, well, you don't have to. I can see most of it from right here anyway. Instead of us saying, like react, it says help.
So does it say channel 9 and help, or does it just say help in place of a channel 9?
Well, it has a channel 9 there, and right above it says help.
All right, well, that was probably done by committee. So what should we put there? Help is a good thing. Plus, it's only 4 letters, and it fits in the window.
That it does.
Radio number 3, the Super MC11A from General Radio Telephone, and like Jerry on his Browning, it's like that one. You never have to do much. You just need to turn it on and let it warm up and hope that it's Saturday.
Yeah, I don't touch nothing on this thing. I cleaned it out once or twice, but other than that, I don't touch nothing in it. I leave it just as it is, make sure things are clean and it works, and the electrical cord's plugged in, and the coax is hooked up to it, and the microphone's hooked up to it. And when I turn the switch on, if it lights up, that's good. But when I talk in it and the needle swings that way, that's even better.
And that's a good thing. Radio number 3, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. I guess the Super, when they started putting in the ECLL 800 tubes, they started adding Super. There's some reason they did that, because not all of them are Super, even though we think they are. Thanks for joining us on the tube portion of the old Tube Radio Network tonight.
And thank you for being there, Dennis. We're out and listening.
All right, starting our 30-something here, 37, 38, 39. I got to get together with Kevin, and we'll have to pin this down. I don't have all the original records from way back when. I think we used to write check-ins down on the dinner napkin when we actually started making the roll call sheets. I've got some of them from 88 or 89, I think. We didn't have an old tube radio. Nobody was designated as the old tube radio secretary, as it were. And so you never know. X4000 has joined us asking, is this indeed the the brand new roller skate frequency? I don't know. Can you still buy roller skates? Not roller blades, but roller skates. Maybe you can. Speaking of which, the Jingle Singers have skated up to the Ribbon Microphonium, and they will be telling us all about that very cool Saturday night place to be right here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
how do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
All right, it looks like the jingle singers are not going through the compressors. We've reconfigured things. I see the cables on the floor coming back to the rack, but that's okay. They're sounding just fine. We are listening and waiting for radio number 4.
Number 7.
Hey there. Let me mark you in at 9:21. And I wasn't sure if the noise monster was at your radio door or not, but you are sounding good on the transmit site, so take a transmission over.
There is some noise, but luckily the limiter in the tram does a great job, so that makes it bearable. Anyway, yeah, the tram, TR27E, 23-channel transmit and receive with the Electro Voice 638 microphone.
That EV638, I'll see if I got a picture of that. First, let's bring up the tram TR27E. Got a picture that appears to be, yes, indeed, it is your radio. And there's a station, Al is his name, I've been talking to on 40 meters that has a swan. He's getting his swan collection back together. And I saw a picture, and I could have sworn, and I forgot to ask him today, that on the table next to the I think it's a 500, Swan 500, it looked suspiciously like that EV 638 microphonium, so I'll have to check in. A popular microphone for the old boat anchor rigs, and a popular microphonium for the even smaller boat anchor rigs. Take a transmission.
Yes, a boat anchor, smaller, but yes, definitely a boat anchor. The good old tram TR20, and made in 1963. So I'm still older than that radio, which makes me kind of old. But anyway, there you are for OTR. A little blinking mod says I'm still working, so I hope it's doing what it should be.
It is. Oops, my screen went away. I was trying to see if I could get that EV 638 microphonium, and I have ended up blowing up the whole system here. Let me do that. Let me try that. All right. Well, that's sort of what I'm looking for. Let's do that. Okay. There's the front of the microphone. If you can't see it, I don't even know how to describe it. It sort of looks like the alien eyeball, but it's I think you called it a bifurcated front. It's chrome across the top, and then you have a split, I'll call it a windscreen, and the thing is solid chrome, and I'm going to imagine that microphone, if it's the real deal, weighs a bit.
Yes, it does. It is a good chunk of metal, so yeah. But yeah, it's in really good shape, and it's all brushed aluminum. I used to have another one that had the kind of a brown coating on it, coloration. Looked more like the Brownings, but I got rid of that one. I no longer have it.
Okay, well, out with the old, and what do we say? In with the even older. On the Old Tube Radio Network, looking good and sounding good. Tram TR27E Echo, and for those that like green radios, yes, Chrissy, I am talking to you. Ed has come through once again. Radio number 4, take another transmission. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to everyone from SWL number 7. With that, we'll be listening in.
And speaking of Chrissy, don't forget on the chat window, she is putting in a new recipe that looks tasty as ever. I see ham and hash browns and all sorts of things involved here. So And Dwayne, I missed your comment. Dwayne mentioning the reason that the general radio totals were called the Super MC or the Super Master Control is because a general is a very commanding radio. It is, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but I think somewhere on the kitchen table there in downtown Burbank, they were always penciling the latest updates and designs. And it was amazing what they did for between $200 and $300 back in the day. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glowing in the dark. My name is Dennis, net control for the evening of this first, I'll call it Old Tube Radio Network episode of 2022, something that we have been doing here on Saturday evenings since the mid-1980s almost. We skip a few Saturdays now and then, but for the most part, our shortwave listeners and tube radio operators come through, and they want to get on the air. Speaking of want to get on the air, the Jingle Singers are at the, well, it's not an EV638, but it is a ribbon microphone, and they have, what was it? It was Pat Paulson used to say. They have this to say about that.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And hey, fresh in from Batavia, SWL 34, Jimmy, little toot checking in. I don't have. Where is the train whistle? I don't know. They cleaned up around here, and I don't see it. I can't give a toot. I can't give a toot, but 34 is in. Check out the Old Tube CB Radio Network and the various other pages concerning radio and things radio, not necessarily all citizen band, that Jimmy takes care of. They're always interesting, and you will learn something, I guarantee it. And Happy New Year to you, Jim. Thanks for all the hard work you put in and the time, basically the time and the hard work you put into keeping all the pages up and running and keeping things fresh and interesting. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for radio number 5.
Roger, here, Dennis.
You've got that right. I'm just wondering, Jerry, do you have any wire antennas up for the lower HF frequencies?
Yeah, I have 40, and I don't know if I have a tuner. I can kind of tune around. Why?
I'm just curious. I was just thinking I probably never caught you down on some of the other frequencies. We'll have to try it sometime. Remember the old thing, we'll have to make a sked and see if we can even hear each other, because sometimes with those frequencies you can be too close. You have to rely on propagation to make a contact. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, that's it. That's interesting you say that, Dennis, but yeah, well, we'll have to maybe communicate maybe on a landline, but yeah, I try to check in daily on the Beehive Net on 22.727 and stuff, but I'd love to make local. Now we might be a little close for that because the waves, the signal waves, as you know, the sine waves are huge. I've tried that with other guys too, but Larry at K6PN, but I can hear him fine, but sometimes he has a hard time hearing me. So I'm not even sure where we're going with this, but anyway, bye and listen, man.
All right, good deal. I was just curious, but you always sound good here on 27085. When we are doing the net. And we're doing it now. We're listening for Radio 5 on OTR.
I'll try to warm one more up, Dennis. Hang on, and we'll see what happens. It might blow up. You never know.
Okay, well, this is not the it might blow up frequency, I hope. I think a lot of stations, a lot of SWLs are out there realizing that at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, they're realizing that at 9:30 it's feeling a lot like 1:30 in the morning after staying up late last night.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Hello, Radio Check. You are 9 pounds, good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. This is the Old Tube Radio Network in Midtown Fresno. Over. And we are listening to and talking about the classic tube radios that graced the airwaves here on Channel 11 and everywhere else, from 1 to Channel 23, back from about 1958 to 1978. And you will hear some of those very radios stopping by shortly. We're also streaming live audio right now at oldtuberadio.net on your Universal Media NetWeb device of choice. And there's also a YouTube video where you might even see some of the radios or a likeness of some of the radios that are checking in with us here tonight. All of that and more on the Old Tube Radio Network. Well, how's that for a promo off the fly? Hello, Paul. Dennis down here on net control saying if you can hear me, take a transmission. Over.
I hope I can interrupt anybody other thing. I was listening, but I lost part of the last thing you're talking about. We're checking this right here. It doesn't have much power, but it's one of the first Pierce Simpsons that I have. I think it's probably one of the first ones manufactured. Pierce Simpson CDB-5.
All right, heading back to the Rolodex. I put a pencil in the spot there for Pierce Simpson because I thought you might be bringing another one, but the pencil fell out, so I'm having to scroll through yet again into the Pierce Simpson. I found the thing, and we were looking for the Charlie Delta Bravo number 5. Trying to find something. Hey, you know what? Look at that. There it is. And it says, it's got your name on it. Putting it up on the screen here. And if that's indeed the radio, give us another transmission. Another cool Pierce Simpson design. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a 1959 to 61 or so, the deal here. So I'll probably go along the old what it is, being 79. It's almost what I know of anywhere out there. You might show something different back to you.
Well, it has the look. It has the early 60s look. I bet it probably, if it's we'll do mobile, we'll do 12 and 6 volts. That's typically an indication that it's an early radio. Also, I notice it also has the wired-in microphonium. So before the days of having a lot of available microphones to wire in. 1961, but it looks like you could have got them in late 1959. A 6-channel crystal control transmit and receive. 117 volt and 12 volt power supply. I bet there's a 6 volt way to do that as well. Take another transmission.
Yeah, okay. Well, the microphone has got a Pierce Simpson name on it. Miami, Florida, on the back of the microphone on the thing, but it's hard to wear it in, so I'm sure it's a Stoffler on the thing. which I'm happy to have, which is very rare for me. Thank you.
All right, you mentioned that Miami, Florida. We have who's listening in from Miami? I see them on the list here. Let me do the close-up because I think it says. Oops, there it is. Yeah, Miami, Florida, USA. The model CDB5 from Pierce Simpson, 11 tube, super heterodyne front end. Noise limiter. Where's the noise limiter? I wonder, maybe it's just automatically built in. I don't see it on the front. Or a series noise limiter. All right, so it's built in. Adjustable squelch. Carbon mic. Let me scroll down. Can we see the microphone? If you're using that microphone, it says it's a carbon mic. That looks like it's the old telephone element. There's a number, like a J17 or something. So you could probably find an old dial rotary telephone with the heavy-duty plastic Bakelite or whatever it was handset, and that element in the mouthpiece, the carbon element, would probably pop right into that microphone over.
Yeah, very possible, for sure. Just a 5-channel radio, I don't know what told you about that, but it's 11 tuber. So it's got quite a few tubes in it, I'll tell you, for an older radio like this. Definitely got a carbon mic on it, no question, you're 100% right. It's got a bulb indicator on the thing. Of course, it has no meters, but the bulb indicator is glowing well when I light it up, when I key it up. So it's a Neo radio. It's old and working so far. Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, it's working great. Some great coloration on the, I don't know if it's silk screen or how they painted the front. So you basically got your standard, utility box radio, which a lot of them were, not all of them, but a lot of them were in the 5960. And they went and painted the front up with the design, sort of mid-century modern, covered the speaker grill, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've got places where you can put the Dymo label tape to put your channel or some information, and maybe even your call sign on that. I'm reading again, it says 11 tube performance. So I don't know if that means there's 11 tubes in there, or there's less than 11 tubes, but doggone it, golly gosh, you would think there's 11 tubes in there because of the performance. Adjustable squelch, carbon mic, Pi network output, pilot bulb output indicator, and a TVI trap. So, when Kelly is watching her favorite movie on the old rabbit ears, feel free to keep the Pierce Simpson CDB number 5 because it's got a built-in TV trap. Thanks for radio number 5, Paul. Over.
Well, great. I got it in. It didn't blow up, so I'm doing well. Maybe this will be a good year, Dennis. Thanks a million for checking it in.
Yeah, maybe we've got, I can't remember. It's like Groundhog Day. If we have a radio that checks in and it doesn't blow up, that means we'll have 6 more weeks of good DX or something like that. It's an old tube radio thing. Radio number 5, the Pierce Simpson CDB number 5. What's the thing? What's the cookies? Aren't they CB? CBDs? This is a CDB, and it's a number 5. OTR looking for Radio 6.
25.
Hello, 25. Can you still copy the old tube radio network? Over.
Roger. I believe there is another station out there, Dennis. I'll stand by.
All right. This is the old tube radio network. Real radio's glowing in the dark. My name is Dennis in Midtown Fresno. And everywhere else via the old tuberadio.net. Is there a station that would like to communicate with OTR? We're listening.
We'll follow Paul, Dennis. 60, check.
All right, so Radio 6 will be Jerry, and Radio 7 will be that 00 guy. I didn't hear anything. Jerry, go ahead and take a transmission unless you are able to copy the station.
All right, well, I'll make this quick, and before this thing blows up. Sonar, Model E, 8-channel transmit, VFO receive on the old hand hit stock sonar microphone, and boy, it seems to be working so far. So anyway, back to you, Dennis.
I sort of guessed that you might be on the sonar because they has such great audio. I don't know if at this time in their build they were doing this 6BQ5 push-pull audio. I can't find a tube complement on that, but you certainly have some great audio with the Sonar. The stock microphones, of course, always did well with those, and they play well even with amplified microphoniums if you don't do it too large. Another classic early radio that I think in their early days, just trying to get people convinced that they needed this new citizen band radio thing. Some of the radios were just super plain, and others like the Sonar and the Pierce Simpson that we just saw earlier are really dressed up nice. You know, it's a big metal box that heats up and smells like burning tubes. But you know, doggone it, let's make it nice enough so that you'll get away with putting it in the family room, you know, next to the TV. So when Jackie Gleason is over, you can key up the radio and talk to people not on your license class. The Sonar Model E. I'm talking too much. Back to you. Take one more transmission on the Sonar before you go, because you took time to bring it out.
You, Dennis, for OTR, and back to you.
All right. Thanks for checking in. The Sonar Model E, always good. One of those tunable receives along with the crystal control transmit the way it had to be at. We'll check it in at 9:39. Thanks. And from the Sonar Model E, we will, and I can only guess what Joe might be bringing us here at 9:41 Pacific Standard Time. Hello, Joe.
Dennis, we're gonna talk to you on our pretty little blue radio. If you've got a tight spot on that table, and doggone it, hard to fit maybe a radio into, you wouldn't have a problem with this one. This is made for tight spots. I call it a half a radio, but it definitely works like a full size radio. Dennis, this is from World Radio Labs. My Hustler CB bass.
From maroon or purple radios to green radios to blue radios to radios with matching knobs. We haven't had any of the wood grain. The wood grains came a little bit later, in the late 60s, 70s, when the sort of the FM stereo console fad was around. But this certainly fits into the mid-century modern theme, and it's a cool radio. Whether it's in the car, I see the mobile mounting brackets on the side, or sitting on your radio operation desk. Another probably very rare radio from World Radio Labs that would be, I think they turned into Globe, or were Globe Electronics. I think that's Leo Meyerson and the Hustler. Give us a transmission, and let's see how that's working.
Yeah, this is a 7-tube. 7 tubes radio here, 8 channels that I can see from my paperwork here, because I still am fascinated by this little radio with a vertical meter, a volume and a squelch, another place setting for a crystal if you have a desired crystal that you like, a station, and a spotter, and also the tuning bit on it. Doggone it, it's a fun little radio. I imagined probably the year this was made. I can imagine, just wonder sometimes what that character's name was that owned this radio, how he came about this. And I'm fortunate to be named Hustler and own it as a Hustler bass.
Yeah, it's an opposite story than I remember when I first got my CB license in radio. You were the Hustler, and the radio Hustler came to you. There was a station I used to talk to, and he used to MC the local breaks down in South Bay, Southern California. The guy's name was Contac, C-O-N-T-A-C. And I got brave enough to ask him one time how he got the handle Contac. And he said, well, he got he got set up and put up his antenna and bought a radio and sat down, and I guess his first transmission, someone asked him what his handle was, and I guess he hadn't even thought up a handle, so he looked straight ahead into the radio, and the radios had CONTAC across the front, so just the opposite of you, he took his handle from the radio that was sitting in front of him. So no need for you to do that. You got the radio that had your handle already on it.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you, I was blessed the day Harvey called and actually introduced me to the radio. Definitely blessed on that. And I did want to check it in to start the new year off. I feel that it belongs on the band there with all the rest of the radios. Anyway, we've got another one warming up, and I'm sure these tubes here are good enough. But I've got one that the temperature may be a little different. It's a pretty little radio too, and I'm going to key it up here in a minute after I be quiet and get off of this one. Thanks for letting me check this one in, Dennis.
Hey, my pleasure. Notice the strategically placed little holes in the top of the case there. I think they call that convection cooling. No fans needed, but the airflow circulates. That's the thing, and we were having a discussion earlier about tubes and transistors, about how the new transistor devices, they run hot to the touch, but that's a bad thing. You either need a fan or you need to have space between them, or there's these big metal heat sinks, because heat is not good for the transistor. With the tubes, it's sort of like, okay, give me a little air, and it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold outside. Just give me some airflow for the tubes, and I'll be good. In fact, they kind of like the heat. So sometimes it's a bit disconcerting when, as you know, you touch the top of the radio, and it's like, you know what, maybe I should be cooking a steak up here. This doesn't seem right. But the tubes seem to like that. And one of the stations mentioned how it'd be interesting. It was to see how these radios would work in a car being bounced around. That's the other thing. The tubes seem to be rugged enough, even though, yeah, you don't want to drop them or whatever. But most of this was, all these radios were point-to-point wiring and not surface mount stuff. So it seemed like if you were, as long as you weren't rolling over down the highway, they probably played pretty well in the automobile. The Old Tube Radio Network is looking for, thank you, Joe, is looking for radio number 8. And this is the Old Tube Radio Network.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Hello, 60. And no loud, unlike last night, no loud noises or fireworks going on, hopefully, in your shack tonight with the radios. They're all sounding good. You have radio number 8. You have it. I don't know what it is. Tell us about it. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. This is my Robin, 123B, 11 tubes. A little bit on the modified side, has extra channels. I don't know how they went about putting those on, but yeah, they got a few micro switches in the front, one next to the meter, and one next to the external speaker light. And right now they're set so I can talk on channel 11.
And talking on channel 11, you are. Let me grab a picture of, let's see, I need to select something here out of the Rolodex. There we go. The Green Machine. Red, green, blue. We're getting the colors of the rainbow tonight on our radios. Take a transmission real quick. The radio was starting to sound like it wanted to take a break, and it normally sounds pretty good. So give us a transmission.
Okay, maybe we got a few things we need to check out. Maybe one, the battery, and and doggone it, maybe where she's plugged into the radio. Or maybe I just wasn't squeezing it hard enough.
That's what I'm thinking. It just, something didn't make a connection when it went through, and it sort of started getting a little bit fadey and fuzzy. That was as Everett used to say, after Speedball used to say, that was a loud and proud transmission. Back to you.
Thank you much. Doggone it, Dennis. This one is pretty air. You know, they put a top section, and the sides are really air cooled compared to the Hustler. The Hustler looks like, if you look at the picture clearly, it only ventilates through the top. It has like two burners at the top of and the sides are covered. There's no ventilation for these tubes, but this one here has all that ventilation and still gets super hot. And what I did like about it there, I could just jump right into it, turn it on, it's instant on. Dennis, this one, everything is working on it. I check it frequently. I haven't checked the battery on the microphone, but this is a D104 power mic.
D104 power mic. Okay, well, maybe you do have a battery thing. As you, the last part of your transmission was starting to get a little bit, I'll use the word muffled. It was certainly, I could hear you just fine, but it was a noticeable, something's not quite as clear as it was when you first keyed in. You might see, be able to see the modulation meter not winking and blinking at you as bright if it's doing that again. And that's a very hot running radio. And Cornbread makes a good point that, you know, it's probably not a bad idea if you can to maybe have enough airflow around it, whether you're putting a fan right on the radio, or you have, wherever your shelf is, your radio rack, have some airflow turned on when you have the radio on, just to keep the air flowing in. Probably is not a bad idea. The tubes are pretty, they're pretty forgiving for the heat, but that's not to say that they don't need to be cooled off. And if the original manufacturer of, putting the convection vents in there wasn't quite right, it could help it out. I know I've heard other people say the same thing about the Robins. It runs super duper hot, so make sure you have your asbestos gloves handy when you're picking that thing up.
Yeah, Tim, well, doggone it, we'll, maybe we will put a fan up here to help keep it cool, because it gets super hot. I'm surprised it hasn't cooked the paint right off the top. But I don't know what type of paint this is, or maybe it's a colored metal. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to stain it or hurt it or do anything like that to it. But anyway, doggone it, Dennis, I appreciate you let me check this 123B, the Robin base, with a D104, 11 tubes, and most of the time raring to go.
Indeed. Now that time it did this, the audio dropped a little bit, got muffly, and right at the end it started coming back up. I put on the Orban loudest meter and we could watch it drop and come back. Sounding good, 100% on the transmission. The key downs are fine, so maybe give an eye to the battery and the microphonium. Just check that out. And that is another reason why we are here every Saturday, because a lot of times these sets, like a classic car, just actually need to get out on the proverbial CB highway, whether it's just around the block, you take an old, I'm talking to you, Harvey, whether you take one of those old buzzer transmissions to keep the thing up and running. Radio number 8, the Robin T123 Bravo. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Oh, thank you, Dennis, and doggone it, we'll let the old channel kind of rock. Hey, bring in this old New Year they call. It's going to be a doozy. We'll be clear. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thank you. Radio number 8. We have time before we count an amount here to put another radio or two on the list. The Jingle Singers, they're starting the new year off right. I think we're going to get all of the tunes in tonight before we sign off. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
It is the best radio, listening for radio number 9.
How about this one?
I could tell you were in front of something glowing in the dark. We'll take it. That will be radio number 9. Hello, Harvey. Over.
Okay. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB off-the-shelf radio with the new modulator tube. Those tubes finally came in. Every single one tested just fine. So I took one of the best and stuck it in this thing. It seems to be doing just fine. And I've got one more part that I think I'm going to put in. Well, I know I'm going to put in because I purchased a few of them. Should be here in a couple of days. I'm changing the resistor in the receiver that's in line with the ping capacitor. If you have an extended ping, you should change the resistor from a half watt to at least a 1 watt. I'm putting a 2 watt in, high temp resistor, so even though I don't plan to put in an extended capacitor, I'm going to put that resistor in case the new owner decides to do that.
Okay, and the resistor, I think you had mentioned last week that there could be a possible malady if you have a capacitor in there that's, I guess, too big to make the ping too long over a certain period of time. Is that what the resistor is helping with?
Yeah, Roger. It kind of, you might say, holds back the voltage as the capacitor discharges, and with the higher value capacitor, the voltage is there longer, so the resistor takes a longer hit, you might say. So sometimes they burn up. Matt B showed one on Facebook about a week or so ago that he was replacing a totally fried one. So I'm replacing, actually I bought enough to replace every single one in every receiver, Browning receiver I have, just in case. So I'm going to do that, and then that probably will take care of the receiver. And also, as a disclaimer, if you do put in a very high value ping capacitor, you may want to consult a technician if your ping is longer than expected.
Yeah, I've read about it. If it lasts for more than 4 hours or something like that. But in the meantime, just out of the box, and it's not the length of the ping. It is the broadcast. Well, maybe not broadcast, but it is that great audio that comes out of the Browning Golden Eagle. It's got a great shot of the flying eagle on the speaker, and Harvey is on the off-the-shelf, and he does mean off-the-shelf. The off-the-shelf radio, which sounds just super loud, super good, everything a Browning could want. That, I wish I could put the REA meter on that. I bet it would be showing a good 125% to positive peaks over.
Oh, yeah. The meter I have it on, or that I'm using, shows over 100% modulation, assuming that that's correct. And it's an unamped D104. Silver Eagle head that happened to be on this mic didn't come with the radio, but that's what I put on. That's happened to have the right plug, so I just put it on and gonna leave it on there. The Silver Eagle head with the gray bass unamped D104. Inside the radio, it is turned up 1/2, and that should do it. I've got, oh, by the way, Dennis, no contact from that person, at least that I can tell. But, yes, I will be selling this radio. As soon as I get that one part in, and then if I can think of something else it might need, I might do that. But so far, I don't think it needs anything else at this time. All the tubes are checked. I replaced the modulator tube with a military grade one, so it should last for quite a while.
All right, sounds good. If it sounds good, it must be good. The Old Tube Radio Network, Radio 9, the Browning Golden Eagle OTS Radio. Also, hello to Hemorrhoid, and thank you from the Low Country, Charleston, South Carolina to Midtown, Fresno. The Old Tube Radio Network beaconing and starting off our 37th year, I think, here at 2022 with some great radios, as always, shortwave listeners and a host of others. Harvey, it is working still. What a great project it's becoming, and it is. And it is beaconing around the world at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for bringing it by, and just got a note that you will be getting a call, what is today, Saturday, on Monday.
Okay. Let's see. I'm working Monday, so I might not be home. If the person says the radio have this in it, I'd have to go home and look. But the person can call. It's not a problem while I'm working. Can't talk for like an hour, but shouldn't be a problem for a little while. And then when I get home, depending on where the person's located, I can call back, and then we can take care of things. Alrighty, I've got one more to go, and that should do it. A little paperwork to do for business here, and working tomorrow morning. Busy time for me.
Okay, well, very good. Thanks for taking time out of your busy time to work with the radios and join us here on the Old Tube Radio Network on Radio 9 as Harvey goes off to get his one more radio. I'm still working on the microphones here. I'm running the AKG, and someone noticed the microphone cable isn't on the PR40, and I will probably wire something because I was doing an A/B test on these things, and somebody gave me a good idea on how to maybe modify my PR40 shock mount to fit the AKG. So I have to find the proper little piece to fit in there and then manufacture it, I think. But I will do that. I'm going to have to buy a compass. I thought I had a, not a compass for direction finding, but one you can make circles with. So I can cut a nice little circle out. Late check-in, yes, for 147. I had scrolled up and down the list, Neil, just to see if you were there, and I thought, well, I missed you, but there you are. So let me go to the thing here, and then I click on SWLs. We find the ever-popular, ever-present 147, and it says you are checked in. No, I'm sorry, that's 137. The eyesight is going here. It's the first of the year. Here we go. Let's try this again. Take two. Dennis tries to check in SWL 147, and we press the button, and there it is. You are checked in. OTR standing by. You know what? The jingle singers, while Harvey is getting us our Radio 10, the jingle singers said they are ready. They are ready to be modern.
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Well, I guess somebody else can be a Radio 11. I don't always have to be Radio 11. I can be Radio 10.
Sure, you can be Radio 10 at 10:05 because you are, and you know what 10 times 2 is. It's SWL 20. Take a transmission. Tell us what you got.
Okay. This is the Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 from Browning Laboratories, Laconia, New Hampshire. Not flushing. I will not flush my laboratory radio. Not tonight. Maybe next week. With the custom D104 with the Browning medallion on the back of the head of the custom D104, I'll call it. It's got a gray base, but it's not quite the same hammer tone type paint as I've seen on most of the others. This one's a little different. This came with the radio, along with a 180 that matched it at a garage sale way back when. And when I saw it, I said, close your garage door, because it was in his garage. I'll be back with the cash. And I did. I got back with the cash, got it. The 180 is sitting above the radio on the shelf above it. It's not hooked up right now, but it's the one that I got with it. Looked into this. Garage sale said CB radio. I was the only one that showed up, apparently. Anyway, the R68T68, this is the one with the on-air light and the 3-position RF gain switch. Distance, normal, and local. Sitting next to it is the one that has the RF gain control, variable, and the transmitter that has the spotlight on it. The two versions of the transmitter and receiver setup. I don't know if they sold them that way, because I've seen a mix and match on these radios. But anyway, this is how I run this one, and the other one is how I run that one with the spot light on the transmitter with the variable control. But this one's what I call the Golden Beagle, R68T68, and I'll turn it back to you.
Right, the Golden Beagle on the air. Did you change microphones? There is a distinct difference, at least to my ears, in the audio, almost like you're running a different microphone. I don't know if it's the Harvey Range Boost helping out or, unhelping out. And there is a, let's see, kind of a hum. I'm not dissing the radio, but I'm just curious, because normally I don't hear at least the audio thing I'm hearing. It sounds like a different microphone, or the element is doing something bad.
Well, this is an unamped D104. It's different than the one on the Golden, the Mark III. But let me try this. Okay. Did it go away?
It didn't go away, but it went down. So you must have created the human ground rod.
Well, remember, this is the one where if I don't put my hand on the modulator, or put the mic on the modulator, which I can't do right now, because the Mark III off the shelf is sitting in front of it, stacked one on top of the other, type receiver on top of the transmitter. So I can't have this mic sitting on the modulator which kept it from doing that. So I'm just kind of doing the best I can there. So, yeah, it's a different mic. This is the mic that goes with this radio. The Mark III has its own mic.
And that is a good thing. You got us to 10 radios. Yeah. With your Brownings. The Brownings tonight. Sounding good. We're at 10-10. What CB is that? We're 10-10. That's we're standing by, and we're not 10-8, and we're not 10-7. So we are 10-10 tonight. Thank you for the Browning radios. Over. And the old Tube Radio Network is counting and amounting, and we'll be back in moments. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Last call for any and all check-ins.
How about this, Dennis?
Is that different? It sounds. It does not sound as good.
Yeah. Okay, how about this right now?
Okay, that's better.
I had to get 11 radios in. Okay, this is the Browning 23S9 R2700A combination. Had to reset the modulator. Anyway, and it's hard to get to because the off-the-shelf radio is on the shelf. Fire the modulator. Anyway, 23S9 R2700A amplified D104.
Yeah, very good. All right, sounding. Now, is that the same D104 that was on the prior radio?
No. The prior radio has an unamped D104 that came with it with the Browning medallion on the back of the head. I've had to change the element in it once in about 20 years or more, so it doesn't sound as sweet as the original one. This one is just a gray bass TUG8 amplified D104, and the 23S9 R2700A.
All right, because it has the same sound as that other one, and then your last part of your transmission was actually kind of distorted and muffled. So I'm going to chalk that up to a possible range boost because the audio sort of deteriorated there, Dan, but I could understand what you were saying. On the 23S9 transmitter, which brings all channel operation to your base station, and the R2700A receiver, which is the world's most up-to-date CB receiver. Over.
Okay. How is the audio right now? 1, 2, 3.
It is not becoming of a Browning. I'll just say that.
Okay. I turned it off. Now, how's the audio? Still kind of not as good?
Well, it took care of the crackly thing and the other thing, and now it sounds okay. It's that microphone. If you watch the playback, listen to the sound from the element, whatever is on the Mark III. It's getting late, folks. That's on the Mark III, and the sound of the last two radios that sound like they have exactly the same microphone that has this big boost in the mid-range and totally rolling off the highs and lows. But I can hear you.
Okay. How's this?
Yeah, no hum at all.
I got to check the head on that mic. I just switched the head with the off-the-shelf head. And I could tell the ping's different. So I'm going to check that head. I might need to replace the element.
All right, yeah, definitely better. I can hear you both ways, but this is putting some of the frequency back that was missing on the other one. So let's see. You have brought us to Radio 11 with yet the, what is this, 1960-61 Browning? For detailed information, send for a free copy of a full-color catalog. Browning Laboratories Incorporated, Department H, 100 Union Avenue, Laconia, New Hampshire. They went first class. You even got a full-color brochure. I bet that wasn't cheap.
Oh, yeah, I like the ping. How clear is it? Is it acceptable for a Browning?
Yeah, like I said, what I'm hearing now is perfectly fine. And without the helper, like I said, it takes care of the buzzing and stuff.
Okay, now the helper's on. Buzzing in there?
No, negative.
Well, that's what a good microphone hit will do. Okay, I'll turn it back to you. We got it in, and gotta replace the head on that mic then. Okay, not a problem. And for those couple gentlemen out there whose radios I still have that I haven't finished, I will get to them. Okay, I've got to finish my busy period of work, get this one off the bench. I'm going to put the Helicrafter CB3 that needs one tube that I got a day or so ago, and then that radio will be done, and then I'll be working on those others. Okay, back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, back to me. Let me key the microphone, and I forgot. Let me get the... All right, thank you. They brought me the... just brought me the thing I should have done at the beginning of the tube thing. Our sponsor for the evening for the pocket protector. I know I felt I felt a little bit light. That's because I did not have the pocket protector pen. We have tonight Zenith Dealer Sales and Service, compliments of Kay and Adolph at Radio Supply Company, 209 South Main, Livingston, Montana, 59047. Let's see. Do I have the close-up camera? Here we go. There it is. Radio Supply Company. And it's not focusing, but anyway. Wait, real close. It's like one of those 3D things, but that is for the pocket protector tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. All right, thanks, Harvey. And are they ready? Yeah, we need to. People are dropping off here, including me. Let's get to the.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
Well, it really picks up the paper. This AKG microphone is so sensitive that I got to be careful for paper rustling. Tonight we had 2022. I gotta practice. I gotta practice saying that. We had 12 check-ins on page 1, 17 on page 2, 14 on page 3, 19 on page 4 for a total of 52, and 11 radios tonight. Not bad. Getting into double digits. That's our goal, to get as many radios as possible to share with everybody, to get on the air as they should, and rouse some people to turn on their radios at least once here in 2022. The most heard manufacturer, well, you pretty much could guess at the end of this program, it was the Browning Laboratories with 4. Started off with Pierce Simpson's, who could have had a possibility there. Started off the Pierce Simpson the Pierce Simpson Companion. I have a Guardian myself, so that's why I said that. Paul, thanks for that. Jerry on his Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Sounding good as always. I have operated that radio. We've done net control from that radio. Radio number 3 tonight, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. A thrift store special. Thank you, Chris. Mr. Ed on the Tram TR27 Echo. The Pierce Simpson CDB5. There's our second Pierce Simpson of the evening, thanks to Paul. The Sonar Model E. Good to have a Sonar in the mix. Radio number 7, Joe, 00 on the Hustler. Hustler on the Hustler tonight. The Robin T123 Bravo, also from 00 tonight. Thanks, Joe, for a couple of nice, good-looking and good-sounding radios. Then we had the triple play, thanks to Browning Laboratories and that guy from the West Side. Actually, you're not so West Side anymore, are you? You're actually closer in, but you're still West Side to me. Radio number 9, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III OTS, off the shelf. Radio 10, the Browning Laboratories Golden Beagle R68 T68, and Radio 11, the Browning 23S9 R2700A with some various microphoniums and heads and sort of the mix and match, the D104 succotash. I hope everyone is survived 2021. If you're here, you have, and yet you are starting anew and looking forward to, as am I, a 2022 of good and great things. So go out there and do good and great things, and we will catch you next week here on what we call the Old Tired Tube Radio Network. 73, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for the net, Dennis.
All right, sounding good. OTR trying to crank it down here. And thank you, Chrissy, for another fine recipe.
And if there's a recipe for a late check-in from the radio lounge, if your eyelids are still open, go for it.
Yeah, I will do that. I've got to get, in fact, I think I need to get to, let me put the page back up. I will do an official 23 skidoo by clicking that, and then we'll head up the page to do an official 47, sounding good. And I take it that you might actually be on a radio to give us, I will never turn down a radio. I don't care what time it is. Tell us in 25 words or less the transmitting device that has put your RF into the Old Tube Radio Network earphone.
25 words or less. A warmed up now Robin 123 Magic Eye Tube.
Perfect choice, as we had earlier the 123 Bravo. And that for our fans of Magic Eye Tubes here, we are starting off 2022 with one. So let me bring up the photo of the 123 plane, the 123, the Magic Eye Tube in full force. Why is it not showing up? Where did it go? Okay, it's way off the screen. There it is. And take another transmission.
On this 123B, I'll do this one too. Don't ask why. 123B here. I'll throw this in the mix just because it's the instant on the air feature. It's already warmed up.
And there it is, the B. We've had a picture of the B before. Oh, but we were discussing. I think you mentioned this also. And I don't know if it's a function of the instant on, meaning, it's like preheating your oven. But does the B run super hot to the touch?
Yeah, it does. I actually just got home a short time ago, and I heard you chatting with someone else about the temperature of the radio. I almost went out and got my my little infrared temperature sensor, but I decided not to. This does run hot. Let's see if it is now.
All right, well, tubes can get away with it. I just spaced out. I just spaced out. Now, I spaced out the rack here. You can people watching the video, where I have one rack unit space between some of the audio gear because I was getting, I wasn't overheating per se, but it was temperatures more than they should be on some of the solid state gear here. So I gave it my version of convection airflow, and it actually helped. It brought down the temperature on one of the units from, I don't know, what was it, 54 degrees centigrade, which was like, no, it was showing up red, to 44, which is showing up green. So sometimes you have to do that. But if you've got a tube radio, like, Cornbread, saying that it does not hurt to put a fan in the mix or get some airflow to help roll through those events, if you can do it. Otherwise, grab the heavy-duty aluminum foil and the porterhouse steak and have a meal at the end of the net, courtesy of Robin T123B. Thanks for radios 12 and radios 13, officially on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks.
Is this the freak out frequency?
We are freaking out, whether it's 1967 on Bizarre Records or 2022, wondering where did the year go?
I don't know. I just hope it's better than the last two. So this is that other one that's now here.
Oh, you found the magic. Okay. Have to talk to Mr. Ed for some hints. What do they call it in QRZ? So hints and kinks on the YAM mode of operation. It is there. I bet it could play a little bit better, but you've got it on, and the audio is working, and it's on. Well, I know it's on frequency. Over.
Roger, Roger. We'll continue to play with it. All right. Thanks. Have a great year.
I'm planning on it. Yeah, I think there's. I don't know if there's internal EQ, but Ed probably has some numbers or settings that will help out on the AM portion of that. All right, I'm going to put the cover back on things, go to the green room, see what they left me, and I will not forget to give the keys. Oh, and I hear it. What, buddy? Wait a minute. I hear a Charlie Alpha Tango. What's up? What's up, buddy? Got a chip on stuff. And Charlie Alpha Tango, and for 2 weeks in a row, he says, it's almost 10:30, and you're not out of the air chair, and the house is probably freezing, and my food dish is empty, and who cares about the old tube radios anyway? All right, good night, everybody, from the Old Tube Radio Network. It's hard to type with a cat on your lap. Yeah, oops, I don't want that. Cue the close-up. He's like, don't make me do stuff. All right. And who is that? Crash 350. Hello, radio from Western Pennsylvania. Crash. I was listening to. Let me turn this down. I was listening to some guys last night. I think it was out of Pennsylvania. I tuned into the Pennsylvania SDR. And they were checking out one of those. There must have been an Apache Labs and a non-radio on lower sideband. This is on 75 meters. And the guy went out to 5 KC wide, 8 KC. He went out to 13 KC wide on sideband, on lower sideband. I'm thinking, who's got a receiver that can pick up that? But anyway, some of those radios are capable of doing stuff. Only in Pennsylvania, right? Porterhouse. Cornbread, that's supposed to be the best steak because it includes whatever the porterhouse is, but I think part of the porterhouse is a sirloin or something. That's supposed to be the steak you want. So if you're going to mess up the robin, with that steak juice, you might as well put a porterhouse in there. on that. All right, I've got an Echo Link to take care of, a Charlie Alpha Tango. That is, he says no, he was not outside. It's a bit too cold. Good night, everybody. Richard, move her and let the cat do his segment. It would definitely do a better job. He has a much better demeanor than me. He said, if you don't want to check in, the heck with you. I'll go to the next person. And the recipe, I'll take a look, Chrissy. The recipe is there. It looked like something that the finicky eater could handle tonight. All right. I got to find the right switch to pull the plug on all of this. And I know the food dish can't be empty. That's the first thing I did before I sat in the air chair, is make sure the food dish was okay. Good night, everybody, from your old Tube Radio Network. Yeah, Mike Echo Oscar Whiskey. Or are you a CW cat? On straight key night, he was, da-da-dit, da-da-da-da-da-da. Good night, everybody. Tom Perker.
KN6LW.
KB6GFD. Let's see. I've still got to turn some stuff off here. There goes the video screen. Good night, everybody. Did you